All right, happy Sunday. We are here in the RAW DAO think tank for another community call. And yes, I did say community call on a Sunday. So this is a new thing we are trying where we've moved our community calls from Fridays to Sundays in order to try to be considerate of all of our different community members. I know Sundays can be a little difficult as well because those are usually like more family days or chill days, but I know a lot of people that also use Sundays to help them get prepared for their week, and that's what a lot of us here in RAW do. So some of the things that we're going to be doing moving forward is also helping our members be able to get a healthy work-life balance, right? Physical to digital balance. And so it's very exciting to be able to do different things like that. Like for example, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2 hours before our community call, we always meet in the jam session, and we have a playlist there where people can just add songs that they like. Since I'm recording, I'm just going to kind of scroll through, but you guys can see it's very easy to even add songs to the playlist. All you do is add period, play, and then the song you need. If you think that it's not going to know what you're talking about, you can say by and the artist, but it's literally that simple. So it's really fun to get a diverse playlist going. As you guys can see, we also dropped some little gifts in there. Me and Tiny was tearing it up on the Dirty Wine today. That was really cracking me up. It makes me laugh every time. But yeah, so we are here for our community call. I'm going to get right to it because you guys know I am not trying to go over an hour, and if we can even go under that, I'm all for it so that we can carry on with our day. So first and foremost, let's get into what's going on. So let's see. Let's start with our website. So I know we've been talking about our website a lot. If you guys haven't heard, our website it's going to represent an epic resource hub. In Web3, a common question is, where do you go for this research? Where do you go to find stuff? Where do you go? And everybody will give you a different kind of answer. And some will feel like they are more deep, and some will feel like some are more vain. So we want to come together as a community, as a DAO, and create those resources, organize those resources, and engage the community to use their knowledge as those resources to empower the next. So that's what our website is all about. We have a few different aspects of our website that we are going to be developing. One of the first things that we'll be kind of rolling out is our peer reviews, which we've been getting a lot of traction on. Actually, a few people have mentioned it on Twitter, and then people have actually started to at us like, hey, that's what the RAW DAO is doing, when they're having questions like, oh, should I use Foundation, or should I use OpenSea? Should I use Known Origin, or should I use Rarible? You know, these are the questions that real NFT artists have as they are trying to mint NFTs. So very exciting for what we're doing. It's definitely needed in the space, and it's going to be real reviews. Again, think about how impactful it is now. If you're in a new city and you're looking for restaurants, first thing you do is go to Google reviews, Yelp reviews. If you're going to go to watch a movie, you might look at Rotten Tomato. You want to look at the reviews and see what other consumers are talking about. So for our peer reviews, it's basically going to be something for any NFT artist to fill out a scorecard. You know, once they've minted NFT on a marketplace, they can, 1 through 10, it's user friendliness in different categories, and that'll be for the mentors and the collectors. And that puts us in an advantage because now we are also putting ourselves in a position to partner with other marketplaces, right? And start building with marketplaces and their communities, and think about how large those communities are, because everybody's minting, so everybody will be able to offer feedback, and all the new mentors will be able to come to us to look at that feedback to decide what they would like to do. So if you guys have seen over in Shill Your Work, and you can follow me through Discord because I'm not going to share my screen, but I am for recording purposes. So if you look at Shill Your Work, I actually shared this one tweet for somebody that I had collaborated with recently called Faviant. And this is a marketplace that is on the Solana blockchain. So it was really cool. They used some of my NFTs as like a mock-up. I don't think their marketplace is actually live yet, but with it being on Solana, I am very excited to actually be working with them. They're excited about our peer reviews and us launching that so that they can get more responses once the time comes. So that's exciting. Those are some of the things that I've been working on in that sense for that. But to our website, what we have to do now. So we've been working on how to actually secure our website, secure our assets, secure the different things that we're building. With that being said, we have set up a LastPass, which basically hosts all of our passwords. And it's a little strange for me because I've never been one to like put all of my passwords in one thing. But as a DAO, it makes sense because it's decentralized, you know, so password sharing is a protected way. So some of the things as well, and for this part, I will actually share my screen because this is in the core chat. So something for that, we've been working on building our bylaws or our constitution. So with that, I have found a really great example actually for a like a DAO constitution from Song a Day, and this was actually written by a lawyer. So what I did was kind of put a lot of the key things like here, you know, representation of certain members, admission to membership, put out the key things like what we should be looking at when writing our bylaws, and basically put them down here into these different sections. So like general, why the DAO was founded, what it aims to achieve, what principles the DAO adapts and subscribes to. Then for our DAO members, qualifications for membership, classes of members, representation, admission, all these kind of different things. When it comes to our DAO members, once we have our smart contracts relaunched, we are going to be distributing contribution NFTs, which means every person that has joined a core team will get an NFT for that. I haven't talked a lot about our NFTs, but because you guys are my core team, I will give a little snippet. So they are going to be patches. So we aim to have like different patches, kind of like how we do POAPs for like Twitter Spaces. But the goal is to have patches like Girl Scouts, you know, kind of think of that sense almost like, you know, oh, you did this, so now you get a patch for that. So as we're having different workshops, people are upskilling their resumes or their knowledge or their networking or their network. They're getting these different patches for completing different tasks, and these patches can be on digital fashion, it could be an AR filter, or it can be 3D printed. So I'm not going to go into too many crazy details about the whole entire like DAO membership NFTs, but those are the kind of things we are aiming in order to offer our community incentives, because you guys know we are all about incentivizing our community. And with that, you can also, that's how you would be able to mint that and accept these terms, burn that and withdraw from the DAO, different things like that. And then like our steward and our treasury. So we've talked a little bit about, you know, again, voting and how we would like to see that in a better form and having different branches. And again, the knowledge you learn then be able to put you in different like electoral colleges basically on what you're able to vote on. Like if you take a blockchain workshop, then you can make blockchain votes when we're voting on which kind of blockchains to use and different things like that. So very exciting for actually writing out this constitution. I did take a pause after actually dropping this just because I've seen people kind of clap to it but not offer too much feedback from what they would kind of like to see for these different areas. So if you guys, you know, take some time on your own, look at it. Like I said, I know this is in the core team, so if you haven't onboarded with us, you will have to go over to here where it says where to start. If you go to where to start and scroll up, you'll see this awesome Google Doc that you'll fill out, and then we'll start your onboarding process. Once you filled out that Google Doc, all you have to do is complete a task for the team that you would like to join. And you can always see those general tasks here in our tokenomics. We have our educators, our moderators, our engineers, our creatives, our strategists, and these are just things our general members can do. And then you guys know we always drop a task for each one of our teams after our community calls today. So those are some of the things for like our general constitution. But back to our website. So for our website, we this week need to actually vote on our domain name. So I'm going to stop sharing now because that's all I wanted to talk about in that regard. But this week for our website, we need to be voting on our domain name because that's what step we're at. So doing some research this week based on a lot of the suggestions that people had dropped in the ideas chat earlier this week. And you guys, again, just follow me through Discord. Ideas is right here in our think tank section right above our call. So you can also see, you know, us sharing our ideas. Everybody is always welcome to drop any ideas there. You see a lot of people had a lot of ideas this week. But if you keep scrolling up a little bit, then you will see, again, us trying to decide if we want to use .com, .dao, .xyz, .io, and what that means. And we also onboarded a project manager, what I'll get to in a little bit. But something I've noticed with project managers is they have like SEO skills. And if you guys are kind of familiar with that, it's just more like the analytics kind of regard. Like, oh, it's just Google searchability, you know, and you using the keywords that are going to trigger the algorithm for searching on the internet for what you're actually talking about and trying to get that traffic. So from her expertise, kind of telling her about the things that we have going on, she did suggest using a .com to get started because we are in this physical to digital space, because all of the other extensions do still kind of deter a lot of traffic. You know, crypto has this nasty look that it's, you know, scammy. So when they start seeing these different extensions, they start kind of, you know, just saying, hey, I'm not going to click that, and end up just not coming. So looking at .coms to start out, you know, with raw resources and what was available, we did find that they had raw resources, if that would be our main hub, but there would be a hyphen in the middle of raw and resources, because raw resources is taken and it says like it's like $70 to broker selling it, and that doesn't include the selling fee. Now, you know, we do have our treasury, and actually let me look at that, because I just had seen our treasury Excel sheet. So let me look at that really quick so I can give you guys an exact amount. Raw treasury. Why is my Google Sheets acting so crazy? Okay, I'll give you guys an exact amount after the call, but I think it's like 132 if I'm not mistaken, or 137, something like that. But nonetheless, you know, if that's what we want to use all of our funds on, you know, that's something we have to consider. But right now, if we were to use raw-resources.com, those are relatively cheap. And I should have put that here in the chat, but they were like a penny for the first year with a 2-year subscription, and $7.99, because we also looked at raw resources and raw reviews. Raw reviews as well would be the same, raw-reviews.com, and that one was like $7.99 for the year. So that's pretty good. And I think also playing on that raw hyphen whatever is something that we can continue to build on. Because if you guys are wondering, like, why do you have multiple domains? One of the most efficient ways to kind of build a website is to actually have multiple websites. So all of our, like our main hub where our resources are. So our main resources are SOPs. So you guys keep following me in our Discord. If you look under this community section, you'll see a section that says SOPs. So if you click on new SOP alert, you'll see there. This is where we've been dropping step-by-step processes for how to do certain things. And as you can see, I also like to make YouTube videos with the little avatar on the screen to make cool YouTube videos, which has also been helping our YouTube very much, because how-to videos are awesome. They've been helping our TikTok, and again, just putting out this educational information and putting us on the map as this educational hub. So that's why we push our community members to create SOPs about whatever you know. Create educational content about whatever you know. So for example, Tiny has been thinking about making SOPs for using Canva, SOPs for making word searches and crossword puzzles, the things that we include in our weekly recaps, SOPs for how to use Discord in general. I know one of our other moderators, Havo, he's been wanting to make SOPs about setting up different crypto wallets like Coinbase, Uphold. I know he said a few different ones, but I'm just throwing out, again, literally specific to that wallet, how to actually set it up, again, to serve as this resource that people can come and check out. So this is really great. We always drop here what the SOPs are about. So we have a few categories: crypto, Web3 basics, NFT artists, businesses, physical to digital process. I did also add for DAOs because I've noticed we've gotten a lot of questions about things for DAOs. So I did add that as well. So yes, back to our website though. So on our website, that's what our main hub is going to be there for, those resources. So for raw resources, that's where people can, one, access the SOP template, because I did develop a template style that I'm also thinking about maybe, and I don't know how taboo it is to kind of like consider trademarking that kind of stuff, because it's supposed to be open source. So I've kind of let the idea go, but then it's like, that's our asset, so I let it come back. But then I'm like, but anybody can use it, so I let it go. And it's this mindset again that we have to shift when it comes to Web3 and it being open. So right now, again, it's just an open template that anybody can use, but the goal is to use it and bring it back with us and continue to build with us, right? So again, it will have the template there so people can download the template and then import it into our library. And then we'll kind of go through a system where people will then review it and then test it. And then that will be a whole nother thing. So that's why our website is important, so that it can kind of help funnel that process. And it's going to be really great. It's going to be an awesome resource. We also have this fashion hub that Havo has been developing, where it's basically going to be like all of the Web3 fashion brands in one place. So we'll have like a big massive calendar that says what like Dress X is doing and the Fabricant is doing. And because right now, if you're in a bunch of these discords, it becomes hard to kind of follow along. So again, even creating that kind of massive calendar to say, hey, these are the events that's going on in the fashion industry. Think about how we can then expand that. Here's the competitions happening in the building space. Here's the hackathons. Here's the competitions happening in the gaming space. Here's the competitions for that. Again, just creating this hub of resources that people can go and check when they want to know what's going on, need an answer to a question. And with that, we'll also end up having a forum style where people can ask questions and anybody can kind of respond. So I know there's a lot going into our website, but that's why our domain name is so important, so we can really get that rolling. And I did see Sergio had to hop out of there, but I know he'll be dropping things in there. If you guys have any ideas about our domain, feel free to drop them today. Otherwise, I will be putting that out, that we're going to be voting yay or nay on raw resources and raw reviews. If need be in the future, we can always rebrand. I know we also want to buy a few of the other domains like raw learn to earn.dao and different things of that nature, which will be great assets as well. Will be great for our wallet. We can attach those to our wallet, and then it'll be easier for people to actually send funds here and stuff like that. So different things we can do for that. But definitely this week we are going to be voting on our domain name, so be on the lookout for that. Drop any ideas. Vlad, I see you've unmuted. Did you have? Yes, go ahead.
I mean, I know you just talked about how much you had, so I know you're not made of money, but anything that you can do to get those forever domains that you can get that are related, that's only going to help, because down the road, if you find you're not actually using one, and it's one that someone else might use, raw something, because obviously that's going to be something similar enough, you can always turn around and sell that down the road. However, if you have to buy it from somebody down the road, you already see what trying buy any of it permanently. So anything you can do up front, you do it once and you own it forever.
Yeah, that's the goal. Right now, with how we've been writing our white paper and our roadmap, it's and with our project manager, we're also in connections with a few VCs and angel investors, and we'll be starting to apply for grants. Hopefully, Q3. That's going to be the goal, to kind of have us on track so that we can actually get some real funding and make those real investments to get those kind of things. So that would be the goal with that, is actually getting some funding in order to do that. So you're right, those are costs, and that's what's going to kind of help us get funding as well, by having real costs that really matter to us. So definitely agree, and is definitely in the agenda. It's just kind of what we can do to start building awareness now, in a sense, and start getting kind of people adding.
Do you have anywhere that you could do a fundraiser? Somewhere where several of us could donate, you know, a few NFT ideas or things that you could possibly try to move and maybe do a fundraiser out of. I mean, obviously, you still have to be able to sell them, and who knows whether or not that'll work. Depends on what the market's like for at the time. But I'm going to, put something forward. You know, they pay the gas and they pay it when they buy it. I don't have a problem with running proceeds if you have a way of doing it in such a way that because it's a donation type thing, buy it quicker for a good cause kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Usually that's why each quarter we organize ourselves by a season, and each season we have like a big workshop at the end of it in order to kind of help, build our treasury naturally. But this season, because we are collaborating with so many different organizations that are already having conferences and workshops at that time, like for example, so just to give you guys a little insight on that schedule as well, is I will be presenting at the Tech Adventures Fest in Scotland on June 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and that is something that we'll probably start to do continuously, which is great because Adam, the guy that's hosting it, is a great pioneer in the space, especially there in Scotland. So he says that's something we can kind of continue to do as well, to help continue to take RAW global and help them spread physical to digital awareness. So that's really great. But that's June 10th. We're also partnering with the Black MetaFest, and that's June 17th and 18th, where I'll be talking about Web3, physical to digital, and all that we're doing here in RAW. And then we're also in a big partnership with all of our awesome builders from Metagames that are actually helping us build our metaverse in World and Neos, and they have a big fest like the entire month of June basically. So we will be hosting a physical to digital fashion show during that conference. So what we've kind of done, instead of host our own, is I've set up different engagements for us to still go put out the awareness, but unfortunately we're not selling tickets like we did last time. So I think that's a really great idea, Vlad, in order to incorporate that somehow with the NFT and the fashion show. So I think that's a good idea. We can definitely continue to build out and see how we can do that. I know for the website, for the domain, I think we were just thinking something that we can do now, because right now the only way we have to direct people is to Discord, which isn't great. We want at least a landing page or something where we can say, hey, this is our website, which has all of our social medias, a little bit about what we're about, and then you can go to Discord or Twitter or wherever from there. So just to help us as we're in our building stage right now, to have somewhere to send communities to actually look into us and establish ourselves as a credible Web3 brand. That's kind of why we were just pushing to get out a landing page of a website to be able to push people instead of just here on Discord. Because also Discord be having their problems and isn't always gonna be around. Who knows? So just some of the things that we've been exploring, but that's also why we've been not married to a lot of the domain names, knowing that, you know, we do want our forever domain name, and we do even want that to be Web3 native, you know. So even a .com would be very short term to say, you know, even if it's just short term for a year. But we do want to be stamping ourselves in the Web3 space and showing that we are Web3 native. So that's why a lot of that stuff is very temporary in that sense. So appreciate that feedback. If you have any more ideas for those forever names or anything like that, just feel free to drop it in those ideas chat. Did anybody else have anything that they wanted to add about our domain names, websites, even the Fashion Hub? I know I kind of just mentioned that, or anything I've spoke on so far. No? Okay, great. So we'll keep rolling them into the Fashion Hub, since I did just mention that, which is, again, an initiative by Havo, which is really great because I do see him in a lot of the same Discords and actually building really, really great relations. I know we are all about general NFTs, but fashion NFTs are near and dear to all of our hearts because it really makes it easy to explain and onboard people to understand like how this is not going anywhere, right? So having somebody that actually keeps that as a focus and is bringing these communities together, very excited about that. In our Raw Fashion House, I know if you check out our Git book, which is keep following me, we're going to go over to updates. So updates in the info chat, if you click on the pins and then scroll down, you'll see our Git book, which is the very first link, and that will tell you all about what we have going on. We even have pictures of our members. We have tabs for all of our different projects, for our build tokens, and literally everything about what we're doing right now you can find in our Git book. So that's exciting and great to be having updated, to be able to again show people to go there. So yes, we do have a Raw Fashion House that we would like to kind of develop under that as well, with again people using our theme and making NFT fashions and minting it with our hashtags and causing these big waves on marketplaces and all these different, you know, waves that we would like to create and impact. So very exciting for that Fashion Hub that Havo's doing. We'll be dropping a lot of information this week. The main thing with that is we're going to have a Twitter Spaces every Friday. So we're going to have a Twitter Spaces every Friday hosted on the RAW DAO Twitter. And then we'll have one of the other fashion leaders in the space co-host it. But there will still be like 10 other fashion brands, digital fashion brands that will be speakers as well. So it's going to be really, really awesome again to have all the communities there every Friday. Different one will be, you know, in that co-host seat and kind of the primary focus, but we'll be talking about different topics that everyone can share on, that whole communities can come around, and we can really start to build the digital fashion industry together and show how we can all be collaborative instead of this competitive spirit that we have seen in the old system. And again, use these initiatives that we're doing to start to transform these mindsets and show people this is how we can do things better. Don't come in here trying to do the same things that did not work in the last system, because you're just going to end up on the same end of the totem pole, right? So let's get in here, do something different, really be building together, really be collaborating, really be coming together, and not fear like, oh, my followers are going to go follow them instead, or any craziness like that. So really great to see them on board and see Havo leading that. He's really great in that position. So I'm excited. Let's see what else we have. So with that as well, back to our metaverse for our physical to digital fashion show, which kind of all merges right to that. So for our physical to digital fashion show, because like I said, that will be in June, as we see today is May 1st. So we will put it out to the general public, you know, that anybody can submit physical or digital or AR pieces in order to be shown at the fashion show, but they will need to be in by June. So they only have 1 month. So one thing that I'm really going to do is push our raw creatives to, whether it's old NFTs you have or new NFTs, or again, any NFT artist. It doesn't have to be you creating a whole new creation. It could be an old one that you just want to show off in a different way. Maybe one that's never sold, different things like that. But using that, bringing it into the metaverse and showing people what we can do. I met with a community a community manager yesterday who actually we decided that it's not going to be best for him to actually be our community manager, but he did give me some really great feedback about what he's seen so far. And one of the biggest things that he said is there's a time to build and there's a time to market. So right now while we're in building, we don't need to be so worried about marketing and telling people about what we're doing, because after we've built, then our work will be able to speak for itself, which obviously we all know is just because we are a DAO and trying to be, I don't want to just be the main one building because I don't want it to be around me. I don't want, it just to be around any one specific person. So instead, that's why we've been trying to grow our core, our main community, in order to help us create and decide on these, basis of decisions, so that we can continue to attract those like-minded people. So again, going to really push for our creatives to have a physical or digital, or hopefully the physical to digital, which means you would kind of get both in that sense, in order to showcase at this time. Again, so that we can start showing what we got going on, which I know always helps. When I start dropping those videos with my education on how to do this, and it has my digital avatar, like I said, those are the ones that get a lot of views and really show we make avatars, we make education, and yes, we know how to put it all together and put it on YouTube. Okay, so that gets people excited, like, oh, what are they doing over there? So very exciting. So we need to start rolling. Oh, sure. Go ahead, Shamgar.
Sorry to interrupt. I think everything you're saying is beautiful. I think it's like what Gary Vee about Web 3.0, or I was saying the other day in the space, like, people just need to give this space, like, 20 minutes to get its stuff together, like, literally. Like, people don't realize, like, when AOL and the internet first came out, AOL slow as hell. Like, people don't understand, like, it takes time for these things to develop, and, like, it's beautiful that we have all these different people with different skills, and we're already covering such a variety, like, broad, like, series of topics. So, like, honestly, we just need to keep pushing and get more efficient at the stuff we do. Like you're saying, we don't really need a market right now. It's more so just building, because marketing will be there. And it's like the same thing with gaming. Like, I don't really have to market myself right now. I just keep building, and the more placements I get and the better I get, that's how more and more people see me with the more content I produce. It's not really through just marketing myself. So I definitely understand that.
Yep, exactly. And if you guys haven't, make sure you follow Shamgar's Twitch. I know the Raw DAO just followed. I was watching his Twitch yesterday. It was pretty funny because people be in the comments, and it be a whole show. So
I did place in that cash cup too yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, congrats. That was cool. So, and I've got some cool stuff too with our streamers. So, and we're about to actually get to that just about next. Here, let me double check my thing here. So yes, right now we are all about building. So we do want to keep, sharing enough so that people see our brand. That's why if you check our Instagram, and if you haven't checked our Instagram, go look at it, because it's beautiful. Shout out to Tiny, who's been holding it down. We do even have an automated process as well, where we create all the content on Sundays, like during our content creation sessions, and then we use an app that posts automatically for us all week long. Captions, slides, everything, reels, whatever you like. So she did get that all set up. She's been the genius behind the content and has really done an amazing job by making our Instagram page, just look polished and really reflect the brand that we are trying to look as an education, as an educational institute, I would say. And also on that note, I did also speak with someone else who had some really great insight on, again, just shifting this mindset. Like, for example, when we were talking about building our RAW university, right, in every single metaverse, and having a RAW hub there. and having it as a university. And, thinking about it, and it's funny because these are some of the conversations we did have when we were thinking about these structures and the architecture of it. We're like, we want to model ourselves after a university. But when you really start looking at the architectures of the universities, it's like, yes, the campuses are beautiful because all of the greenery and the big buildings. But we also know, if you look at a correctional center out here, and at least in the States, we know that educational institutions and correctional institutions usually look very closely alike. Minus one might be a little gray and brown, and the other is a little brown and green. So instead, again, being that we're building in the metaverse, we can completely rethink what it even means to look like a educational institution. So with that, I know we kind of have been, even when it comes to our fashion show, we've even reverted that to like an outdoor experience, so that's something I would love to see with our Raw University as well, it being more intertwined with nature and the natural elements, and it being, kind of back to our apple and that seed, and, it's planting the seed and then it growing to the tree, and then you getting the apple and then replanting the seed, and, kind of embody that as well. So I seen Tiny unmute, and then I seen Vlad unmute. So I'll let Tiny go and then Vlad.
Oh, I just said thank you earlier. That was it.
Okay, cool. No problem. Thank you, because you've been killing it. Vlad.
Mine was more of just an unformed thought at this point, but, the idea of, instead of going as the traditional university and a degree and course studies and all that, being able to simply get a certification. I took this, I did the test at the end. I demonstrated that I had proficiency after completing the coursework. I demonstrated that it was, in fact, me sitting in front of there, whether that's a facial recognition and a camera, or what the case may be. And I got my NFT certificate saying that I did complete it, that I can then show to potential employer or whatever. That might be a real impressive thing, and a really big thing, more so than a degree, because you can go cross-discipline. You can get a little from here and a little from there and a little from the other, because somebody else trying to sit back and decide what degree and what should go into that degree. The world's changing too fast for anybody to know that nowadays. You just kind of got to pick what you can get based on what you need at the moment.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And that's why I even started the conversation today with, talking about those, the contribution NFTs, and you getting, more of a patch when you complete something in order to do that. And God willing, we really worked hard and put ourselves in a position where we are such a standard for that education that those patches now really represent that certification, and we can build that certification, just like if you kind of go to the grocery store and you see the non-GMO verified stamp, and there's a few different stamps because they each come from different agencies, and some agencies you respect a little bit more than others and different things like that. So ideally with our logo, we are hoping to kind of use that as that same thing when it comes to kind of offering that stamp of you are certified in this. And another thing with that as well that I haven't really mentioned to anybody up until now, which is being connected with LinkedIn and being able to, after you've completed one of our courses, actually show that you're certified in that on your LinkedIn page. Because I'm not too familiar with LinkedIn, but when I was on there, I did see that. And when I had my Udemy course, I was trying to see if there was a way I could connected to as well. So that kind of got my gears going with that, and thinking that would be really cool as well for our RAW DAO. And that's why one of the biggest things I always tell people is join our core team so you can start upskilling, be around the engineers, be around the moderators, and really gain these skills so that, you know, as you're applying, you know, Web3 businesses and brands are looking for so many positions that have never been here before, like a community manager, right? But if you've managed the Discord and are working Twitter spaces, you basically know something about community management, you know, if you've been around for long enough. So just taking those kind of opportunities serious to really upskill and build that Web3 resume is definitely the goal there. What's up, Shamgar?
That's something I would agree with what he was saying. Sorry for the background noise. It's just a lot of stuff goes on. I live in the hood, so I cannot help the background noise. But I think that like this space and this community is huge, and I think more so that we should with people like Exodus and Neighborhood Tales because they kind of have the same vision as us. And if anything, well, I know Exodus is further along in this than us. Not more so in the Web 3.0, but like how we talked about creating basically this environment where people can learn to like come gain skills from. If you've read Exodus's white paper, basically they're going to create like a library for people to where whatever skill you want to learn, whether it be selling houses, flipping houses, or like making gardens, or even engineering, they're going to have like either books, courses, or like people in that area to help with those things. So like what you're talking about is basically being worked on by other people already. So it's like, I don't know, I think we could help on both projects and not integrate it all necessarily. Theirs, but I definitely think it'd be beneficial for all of us to be a part of all of these projects because not only Exodus, but Neighborhood Tales, for example, like that project's huge. Like other than this, is that's the only other server I really like being really like heavy for NFTs and stuff because. Like, I mean, it's basically a GTO game where you can literally rob people for crypto. Like, and I'm already really good at video games. Like, well, what's bigger than that at that point to me? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, the people that are in that space is huge. Like, you have Chiz, you have Solomon. There's a lot of other great Israelites, bro, that have been, like, really grinding for years. Like, I've only been grinding in, like, gaming and, like, somewhat in Web 3.0. But these people, they've been grinding in crypto and Forex trading. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people have been working in other crafts, and so I think it's more about, like the more I try to adapt and learn from their skills and take from that, I would like to combine that with it. Because what you were saying about funding and stuff, I would definitely like to get a lot more funding, like, for my business. Because I feel like if I could do that, like, it would be huge. Like, you see all these other, like, nations and these other people, and they already have resources, and they already have all these systems built up to help them. And we're kind of, like, doing this on our own. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm great because we like more. But in reality, that's the only reason why we're not as big as some tech corporation, even though we have people that definitely have way more skills and way more personality than these people. So at this point, it's really just about like gaining resources and just gaining that knowledge to put us in that position. Because I think we're all beautiful people that have the skills. It's just about being around each other so our talents can grow with each other because we don't really have anybody to play off of or push off of.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And we are definitely all about collaborating with other projects. Because again, like you said, that's the best way to really help us grow in the space. And, you know, one of the first tips that you'll really learn from a lot of community managers that have been successful before is when you merge communities, you know, and it's like, oh, you can use our governance token in theirs and their governance token in here. And if you have this NFT, now you get that NFT, and being able to combine the two communities and incentivize communities for collaborating, that's where the magic starts to happen. The only thing I will say as well is we really have to make sure our values align though with the communities that we align with. Because like, for example, how you mentioned Neighborhood Tales, right? And how you can rob people on there. That isn't necessarily a great thing we want to be educating the youth, right? Because my fear would be, especially because I teach younger kids, like I teach my 4-year-old son, but in crypto, I also host younger classes for like 14, 15, 16, like high schoolers basically, where we're talking about the metaverse and how you can use, you know, these tools and NFTs in order, like you're all in art class, you know, look at little Nyla and how she's doing. And this is something I've been doing for months and months and months with younger ones. And my fear then becomes you're in the game, you're in the metaverse, and it's, oh, you can rob somebody and make money. Okay, now what happens when you turn it off? And now that kind of goes forward. You know, it's the same way how they say, you know, video games, you know, make everybody want to go shoot people, or in general, what video games then can convert.
That's a very valid point. Like, I completely understand what you're saying, but the only thing I could say to go against it, and I'm not trying to go against it, but more so thinking about, like, in the bigger perspective, because, like, when I was a kid, for example, like, my grandparents and stuff, they didn't want to let me play, like, Call of Duty and stuff, because it was, like, M-rated and all that stuff. The same reason you're talking about this game now. Mm-hmm. I do describe Neighborhood Tales, like, in a very, like, broad, like, bad manner. Like, that's only one part of the game, and you can only do that in rogue mode.
We had a whole Twitter Spaces with them. I think you were there before. So,
I was.
We liked their project. I really like the community behind it. I think all the people in the community are really awesome. I like it as well. But again, when it just comes to, like, actually collaborating, right, and pushing people, again, because we are also looking at, like, how can we connect with Fortnite so that we can have, like, a parents' night in the metaverse, you know, and, like, get parents involved to see, hey, this is what your kids are doing, so that you can understand it a little more, and have, like, these whole, like, learning sessions. It will then kind of be redundant to also say, and then you can come and then we'll teach you how to rob people in the metaverse with this other project that we work with, which is, like you said, it's just a video game, you know. So I don't want people to you know, take that off, because GTA is a great game and I think it's a cool thing to do. But say, for example, as well, the Black Meta Festival that I'll be speaking at, they have a game as well where it's more like Black Monopoly, right? So it's with their project and their play to earn. It's like they're also along the lines of learn to earn and Black Monopoly, and trying to build this Black Wall Street again. And you know, as you're going across the board, you're really learning these skills and different things like that. So when I met with that game, that's when I realized, like, hey, maybe partnering with people like Neighborhood Tales wouldn't be as strong for our brand, because there's other games like this that are learn to earn and more aligned with our mission. Now, are we a part of that Discord? Yes. As you see, I think Mocha was in here. I'm sure you're familiar with Mocha. She was in here earlier this week, you know, dropping engineer gems. And I used to be a lot more active in that chat. It's just my Discord got way too crazy. You know, you already know how that can be. So I've just kind of been all about Raw in general. But, you know, definitely just very mindful for the real partnerships that we put out there. But I think what they're doing is really smart, especially with their roadmap, the power players, like you said, that they have in the space, their tokenomics, a lot that they're doing. So we definitely want to be a part. It's just how we connect ourselves with different projects that is going to make
I got you. I'll try to more so, like, integrate them, the good things that they do, and less so the game, because even minus Neighborhood Tales, like, you still have Exodus, and Exodus, like, the Exodus library, and they're building 2 other games along with that. They definitely aren't going to be, like, with, like, robbing people or, like, violent things, so I understand that for kids. I just think also for kids, too, like, you gotta realize these kids are playing games like Fortnite. They're already playing in these toxic communities. Like, if you play Warzone or Fortnite, especially Fortnite, like you've seen from my videos, these people are horribly toxic. Like, it's way worse than playing GTA and stuff, like, when I was a kid.
I don't know what's wrong with these kids nowadays, and you guys are cracking me up calling them little Timmies. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with these little Timmies? They really be cussing, like, adults out and just, like, enraged playing these games.
I think it's because of the internet. I think it's because people have access to a lot more information that they didn't, and a lot of people say a lot of dumb stuff on the internet they would never say to somebody's face. So like things like that happen.
And they're
I think games like Neighborhood Tales can, they are kids, so I do try to take that into consideration. I just think that games like Neighborhood Tales, the only reason why I think it's important, besides like the violence aspect, is that it gives people a real reality, and not only that, but a way for these people like me. I play video games for 6-7 hours a day. Sure, I make money, but you're talking about a game where somebody could literally make thousands of dollars in a week, which would be significantly more than what somebody makes from Fortnite like me. So, like, if you're talking about huge opportunities for gamers to be consistent, like, I think so, like, maybe they could have, like, ways, because, like, the whole robbing people with crypto, that's only going to be in their one game mode. Like, the rest of the game's going to be like The Sims, so it's going to be pretty normal.
Right.
I just think, like, I really would like, I don't know, more games to be, like, I guess along their system and the way they're, like, building it, because the way they're building it's beautiful, and the way they're going to be able to pay people for just playing the game and doing things, like, that's going to be really amazing. Like, the amount of opportunities people are going to have from this is going to be beautiful, and that's more so, like, what I'm going to focus on, because I feel like either way, all these kids are like listening to bad music. Like people are listening to drill music. People are watching TikToks all day. People are doing all these like vanity things. But we might as well have our own space of Web 3.0 where at least if they're consuming this type of content, we know what they're watching. We know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like it's more easier to manage at that point.
I hear you, but it's like instead we want to be not of the world, and show better. Like, hey, let's use this space for conducive education. Although that is, like you said, a part of real life. It's part of the gaming life. But it's some things to consider, and we all vote as a DAO anyways. So once those kind of bridges.
I would definitely vote like with the group of the team. I just only say that because I'm older and I'm coming from like a point of duality. Like I see like both sides of everything, but it takes into consideration, especially if we are gonna work with kids. I don't like to see violent things, so we'll definitely play games that aren't as violent, but that's also why when I stream, like, I try to stream to specific people and I tell people what I'm doing. Like, yesterday you saw me playing, like, a professional solo tournament, but then the next day you see me playing creative for Warzone or something, so, like, I guess it's all about your audience for that day, to be honest, and I guess that's hard for, like, me to think about in the long run because I stream to so many people. Like, people from all over the world follow me, so, like, somebody in Australia views my content, somebody in Canada watches me, like, it's hard for me to think about, like, what kids and, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to think about like that. I just kind of am who I am at that point.
Right. And at that point as a streamer, you're just streaming, the games that you like, and whoever likes watching you play the games, that's it. But as, again, us trying to put ourselves up next to, like, a Harvard status of, like, education for the metaverse, because there are a lot of other educational, like, DAOs, we are trying to create a certain standard, and that's the important thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to be up to that standard, so I just make everything flow together.
Right. Appreciate the feedback, though, and we definitely will be connecting with other projects. Especially I got to look into Exodus, who's building that library, because like you said, we all got resources. We can all add to each other's, because building together, we can get a lot further ahead. So I'm very excited. Like I said, I did onboard a project manager as well. You guys may have seen her pop in here, the Money Mom. As a project manager, she will be in our strategy sessions every other Sunday, and hopefully our community calls as well. But she is also a project manager for an up-and-coming tech company. But she's really great, very knowledgeable. She actually just got certified in project managing, but she's been around the Web3 space for a while. I've been in a lot of spaces with her. She has like a NFT course on like Gumroad. So again, really very aligned with us in this creating education and trying to educate people in this space. And she gave some really great insights on our analytics. So it's very exciting. She's going to keep helping us kind of, as we roll out projects, help us make sure that we are rolling them out in appropriate ways and help us create strategies to roll those out. She's also a little connected with like grants and how we can get those. She did give a disclaimer that she can't guarantee that we'll get funding, but again, she's been around the block where she knows some people, knows some things, and can help that process. So that's very exciting to have her here to again offer that insight. With the other community manager, he's studying law in Scotland right now. So again, he's not going to actually be a community manager, but he did say we can consult him anytime. He did also give me the suggestion that right now we have kind of a lot of channels, right, in our chat when I kind of asked for what he thought of what we have going on so far, and our chats have grown drastically. So a few other tips he gave is not having links allowed in every single chat so that our chats can be focused. So some of the things I'm going to be doing is adding a bot in here that can distribute like roles, so that under each section, if you want to see about fashion, then you'll see this whole fashion section. Under clubs, whichever clubs you're interested, then you'll see those. Under maybe you like crypto, our governance is pretty long, but you guys only see that one. So ideally, I would like it to be just like that, where people can see the different sections, but you only see one chat where you choose your roles for which other chats you would like to see, so that people can start to filter and find their niches within our community, and not feel so overwhelmed. So that was some great feedback I got from him that I'll be reorganizing. Again, that also goes with our learn to earn. As people are learning and moving in our community and earning our governance tokens, that also will then start unlocking these other chats. Like we have a lot of fun chats that are locked, like building our website and our collectors club, and even our raw workshop from season 1, you know, that only ticket holders are a part of, and now nobody else can ever join that one, and people are still in there talking and sharing sometimes. So that has been really cool, and they all still hold their role here for being a part of that raw season 1 workshop. So if you guys ever like look at the side where you can see our different groups, all those people under raw season 1, those are some of the people in that workshop. So it's again cool to see our community within communities, because again, our goal is to be partnering with these big projects, big marketplaces, and preparing ourselves for this overflow of what comes when other communities want to start adding to our community. So our whole point right now is to basically, the way I've been explaining it is, we're building the skeleton so that our community can continue to add the fat. So with that being said, I'm going to share my screen again.
Did your mic cut out or something?
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
I thought my internet cut out. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that.
Shane has been messing up. I'm like, it's probably just me.
Oh man, I told you, Tiny, every time you say something, it'd be me next. I told you, I can't stand it. So, okay, my stream, can you guys see me streaming then? My screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you.
Cool. So with that, we are going to move to our roles. So something I have been establishing, and I did put this out there to ask people about their opinion for some roles that we have. So what I did was just kind of did some general ones that we currently do. And let me make this smaller because this is too big and that's too small. Okay, so some of our roles now, this way, again, even some of the things I realized recently, again, we are all about balance, right? And it's funny, I've had this awesome connection with these other moms in the space, and we had Twitter spaces, and it's like it becomes impossible to balance things, right? Because sometimes you just have more in your left hand and less in your right hand, and then in the blink of an eye it can completely shift. So instead of always trying to fight for balance, it's more about fighting for harmony, you know, so that no matter what's happening, you are gracefully able to navigate through it all and get it all done. And again, we want people to be balancing physical and digital. I don't want anybody trapped in the metaverse, okay? I'm going to say that very frank and very straightforward, you know, because we also know that this is a revolution and new slaves are created, a new system is being created, and all kinds of things that's happening. And I won't get into that full rant, but my goal is not to get trapped into the metaverse, and my goal is not to entrap any of you into the metaverse. My goal, if you guys heard my interview from this past week, and this is as the founder, what my intentions were, was to help people see what's happening so that they can be preparing and securing their physical while building in the digital, because that's how you then end up with generational wealth throughout this next reset that's happening, or revolution, or whatever word you want to give to whatever's happening, right? So with that being said, some of the things to do that is, instead of just having our general 5 core teams, something we wanted to do was also put out different roles that people can have, so that you can be in the community, you can know what your role is and what that consists of as well. Just like Nine said, Havo is one of our moderators. Some of his roles he's picked up now is an orientation leader, and he has a Spanish orientation that he leads on Thursday nights. He also is now, you know, leading the fashion hub initiative. So those are his responsibilities, right? Organizing the fashion hubs, their calendars, and all of that, which takes the big focus, but that's his focus, right? And that's it. So as you get more comfortable, of course, you can add more roles, but ideally that is the goal, to just help people find their place and what they can really add to the community. So some of the things here is our social media team. So when I made this document, I put a title, how many members we would need for that, the requirements for that, what that would consist of, what these standards are, who the members are, and what the positions would be, and the benefits for being in that position. So say for example, right now we have our IG team. Ideally we would like 3 members, right? And you would have to be a member of the strategist glow team, as well as a DAO member for 90 days and attend weekly strategy sessions. Now here I did also note that everybody on the social media team should really be aiming to meet those weekly strategy sessions, as well as we'll have like 2 additional content creators just to help create general content. And that also, once our social media start being monetized, they'll be split so that like 50% will go to the people running the social media. Like if our IG is monetized, 50% of the profits will go to the members running it. 50% will then go towards our treasury. And then that 50% that goes to our treasury, that will also be divided where like maybe 30% now gets split amongst the entire social media team to offer as like a basis of distributing the incentives for everybody's effort in growing our brands. And then the remaining 20% will then go to our treasury. So kind of setting up different things like that and preparing again for once we are monetized. So, and again, reminding everybody that as you're doing this, you are building your Web3 resume. And that's what we talked about. So it all just came together right here. And here, if you guys are reading kind of through all this stuff, because I don't want to take up all the time reading everything, I will be sharing this in the brain as well once it's a little more updated. So yes, you can see again, upskilling as you practice, making cutting edge content. You can add to your resume. You grew the RAW DAO TikTok from 1 follower to 100,000 followers. You are now building your own Web3 resume by saying what you were able to do here with RAW. And again, we just put here how many people are open or available for the position and how many will be running it. So the only ones that are like completely not available that are already filled would be like our YouTube, which is me, and that's only because we only need 1 executor. Something that I've done instead though with our YouTube is we have our main hub, and then you can add playlists. So like right now we can have a self-sufficiency playlist where all of our gardeners can add, they can make their own YouTube channels, and then we would add their videos to that playlist in order to help grow their audience as well, to again put them in a position to be able to start monetizing while adding that educational content. So cool stuff like that. Let me see. There's also one more. Twitch. We have our stream team. So excited about that. I'm happy you're here, Shamgar, because we will have a stream team where we'll be on Twitch, where again, you don't necessarily have to stream on the Raw DAO's Twitch, especially because we don't have any followers, anybody, anything. We just started like this week when we were in our building session. I had it set up before that, and then we still didn't end up even being able to stream there. But it's not to necessarily stream on Raw, although it would be great if we can set up a calendar for people to stream on it, but more so just setting up a calendar for when people are streaming, so that again we can host our own competitions. We can stream all kinds of stuff like people using 3D software and actually making their digital fashion. I was thinking about streaming me actually studying. I've been doing a lot for like actually how to write smart contracts, and I'm like, I'd be jamming and grooving, and I think it would be kind of cool in a different kind of streaming to actually be studying and researching while streaming. Now, it might not be the hottest topic in the Twitch sphere, but it again just puts us in our own little pocket there. And why that's important is because again, it will also add credibility within the space as you're sharing your resources and knowledge in this physical to digital. So again, and see here, I also added the LinkedIn to your resume because I did start sprinkling that in. So that's great how I had that. And then another team that we also wanted to highlight was our builders. Now here you do see, actually let me add this because all of these positions are open. There's no set amount that we need for this. Let me see. Can I make it a little smaller so you guys can still read? I guess so. So Yeah, so you can see all of these positions are open. I haven't listed any of our benefits yet, because this is some stuff that I think we should talk as a group. Now, again, we are going for funding, so I'm not trying to promise nobody you're going to get paid or anything, right? It's you upskilling yourself. You're around a bunch of people. You can earn our build governance tokens that will then continue to unlock more. And the biggest thing, especially from our first workshop that we hosted together, is once we do monetize, we always split that monetization amongst the people that put in that work, right? So again, even if we have this fashion show, we can put in there, we're raising money, the proceeds will be donated to the treasury, and we can again say maybe 50% goes to the builders that built our space and 50% goes to the treasury, right? Because that's also something I would like to see different done in this Web3 space, because I don't, again, want to enslave nobody. I don't think anybody should be out here thinking they have to do everything for free. Yes, you don't have to also monetize everything, but your skills and those things that we can reward people for adding, we want to be able to reward and help our community members actually fund themselves, so they can continue to fund their knowledge, and even if it's just paying their bills, paying their electricity, so they stay connected to Discord. These are the kind of things we want to be able to pour back into our community for pouring into us at some point. So just always looking for different ways to include that. But we do actually, I think I heard somebody unmuted.
Yeah. Like what you've been saying about balance and harmony this whole time, I really been thinking about like how to become like the balance in this, because I am gonna start trying to put more time into like working on all of these things. I've just been busy with like everything else I've been doing, but I really am gonna start trying to like work on the spreadsheets and like the ideas and stuff more, because I do have a lot of stuff to talk about or like just put in. But I want to know more so like how to do it, because like you see the content I post, like especially like the content you post like quote unquote I guess woke content, even though I don't like using that word because I feel like that's like head ass, but like that, how do you like balance that and like who you are and just the general language? Like my language is horrible. Like I would cuss all day, but I try to get in these calls and genuinely not cuss or like speak badly. So like that is something like I do try to work on even as a streamer. Like I really do like try to take counseling and stuff and like work on my communication.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. What's so funny? So I know, Shamgar, you follow my other page, the Physical to Digital Raw Apparel. That is actually another one of my personal pages that my husband runs. So, and we have an actual _raw_DAO, which is our official DAO page that the community actually runs. So the Physical to Digital Raw Apparel, that's my husband, who is known for that same thing, just keeping it very straightforward. He always calls it talking to that God sense. He ain't trying to talk to the senses that you're trying to ignore. He's trying to talk to that
you want to
God
talk to your higher
sense,
self.
that's going to hear it and think about it. And
well, that's what would be hard for me. Like it's like people ask me on stream, like, well, sometimes I don't talk a lot. Like if I can't, because a lot of are TOS, so you just can't even bring them up. But like I do want to dive into these things and really talk to these people, but I also just don't want to be rude or hence argue with people. And like I know it'd be hard with me, like especially if you watch my stream content, like I'm just hilarious. So I don't know. I want to be able to like come to the table and balance these things. I feel like I have a lot of things I can explain or help teach people, but at the same time I don't want to be forceful or seem like me, and I want to keep working on like my skills as like the teammate. And like I feel like that's always been my issue. Like no matter the game and stuff. Good at like games and all the stuff I play, I always feel like I'm top 1%, but like me as like a teammate, I feel like I could just be a better teammate and a better person to people, and that's something I really want to like work on and just be a better person.
Oh, well, we are happy to have you here. That is even a great skill to be working on. So thank you for sharing that. I think we are all doing that as well. I know I just had that same conversation with one member that actually had to step down from a position because I had to let them know I would rather you just be an amazing member of our DAO than feel overwhelmed or stressed out with any kind of responsibilities, with you trying to balance whatever you have going on with life, with digital, Web3, always having to learn stuff, because we're here and we want the best for our community members. So, like you said, even just becoming a better community member in general and what that looks like, right? Because that's also important too, with us looking at how civilization is transforming, you know, and us working in decentralized autonomous organizations where it's like, this is your task that you need to complete, that the whole group is like, you know, dependent on you on kind of thing, and how those kind of things matter, is definitely a skill that is a focus. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I would also like to say something I would like to contribute to the team. I don't really know how to say this, especially without sounding bad. And, I would like to like add like a subsection about like, I guess, ethical hacking, you could say. And we don't necessarily have to dive into that, but I would at least like, there's like websites and stuff I read about, and you get like basics of like, not ethical hacking, but I'm saying like just learning digital things, because there's a lot of skills I've learned from that, and I feel like people listening would like to share on. And you talk about adding different things to the Discord, and that was an idea I had.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And you said it's called ethical hacking?
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, there's also kind of been trying to learn, but I mean, ethical hacking is kind of something I'm like, I guess I'm good at. I just don't really do it because I don't really have a legal way to do things. Like, you can't just hack somebody legally, like, unless it's for like a company or something. But you can learn the skills to do those things, because I feel like for Web 3.0, this is huge. Like, if you don't learn how to like counter those things, because like, especially as a Twitch streamer, like, people try to DDoS me and stuff all the time. Like, if you don't like hide your address and like make, okay, like, people will shut off your internet. Like, people don't understand. And especially in the Web 3.0 world, the lead and stuff don't like the things that we're already working on. They will look to like cut this off. So we need to learn those digital skills so that when people start like, excuse my language, but when they start messing around with the fuckery, like, we know what to do when that time comes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to use anything from malicious intent, but if we got to defend ourselves, or like the beautiful things that we've been working so hard for, I'm not just going to let somebody take it.
That is such a great point. I love it. I'm here for it. And it's actually something that I posed to the other game that I had mentioned earlier, because I'm like, okay, so you're trying to create this black meta coin and this black Wall Street. Well, one, anybody that doesn't want to see no black coin succeed can just short your coin to zero. So what are you going to do then? And two, we seen what happened the last time we had a black Wall Street. So what are you doing to protect it from that same thing happening again? So
I think it's like what you said earlier, though. I think be out of the system, out of this, and if you just naturally praise the creator and just seek to be your natural way of being, I think you will be outside the elite system. Like, yes, I understand these people have control of the world and stuff, but quite frankly, like, I mean, I follow Tour, and I've been doing like my business and my things for years, and nobody follows me, and they don't change the way I do things. Like, they don't change my life. They might change other people's life in the system and the way people do things, but at the end of the day, they're just gatekeepers. Like, if they really wanted to do something, like, why don't they really have all of us in slavery? Like, there's a reason why they're trying to use the metaverse to get everybody into slavery. They hate the people like us who are actually using these skills that can make people millions of dollars to actually just get people off of their feet and not be slaves. So I think that is something that we really do have to take into account, that, well, yeah, not like what we're doing is definitely legal, but the way these people feel about it and their spirit is illegal. So I think we have to keep that in mind, that definitely a lot of people that will gatekeep us. Like, I get gatekept as a streamer. Like, as somebody who plays, even in Fortnite, like, the community, like, the Discords I play in, like scrim games and comp communities, like, people are trying to ego you over, like, who you are, how much PR and stuff you have. So I mean, if that happens in gaming, I mean, imagine how it's going to be in Web 3.0. Like, I don't know what it is with the meta. Like, you know, all the rules and everything they already have with the meta, like, I wouldn't even want to be in that version of the metaverse. Like, whatever, like, lane space they have, that's, like, really, like, I'm just not, I don't want to be a part of that for real.
Yeah, no, and those are really, really great points, especially like you said, we are all about just protecting what we're building, and building that so we can be self-sufficient. That's why we're even about building our own ecosystem, own community, so it's like we can support each other and help each other upskill and help each other get further in the space, so that, you know, that can be enough and you don't have to worry about those gatekeepers. And I know that's a lot of people in Web3's mission, you know, so just aligning with those projects to expand that ecosystem while upskilling ourselves to learn how to protect ourselves, you know, from those that do want to see our downfall is a really great point. So I will be connecting with you to see how we can build on that further. Also, welcome. I see Havo and Hafif. Please correct me if I said that horribly wrong. But welcome. We've gone over quite a lot actually today, but right now, and I have been recording it so you guys can catch anything that you missed. I know we've talked about the website for her 5th. We've talked about Fashion Fridays for Havo, and everybody's really excited about everything that's happening, especially her 5th. We talked a lot about what the website totally captures, and our plans for it. So this week we'll be voting on domain names for that, and then actually start building out some of the aspects. Again, the goal of that is really to get like a landing page where we can start directing people to go there when they want to know about RAW, see all of our resources, and then find Discord, and then find these other places. Because if you just send them straight to Discord, it tends to get a little overwhelming, and then people just forget about your project. So we want to take ourselves out of that pocket and more into a serious Web3 project, by having at least a website that people can go and find the few resources we have thus far. So those are just some of the things we've talked about. But right now we are actually looking at the roles for different community members. So some that we've outlined so far have been like for social media and the different members for that, and how once the social medias are monetized, how it'll be split between the members, the treasury, and all of the team members. So that everybody's incentivized, as well as our builders. That's where I was just now. Right now, every other Saturday, we have a build session in the Neos metaverse that is pinned in the build club chat. So if you guys check that out, you can download that on your PC. It is not compatible for Mac, which is the sad part, but for all of our Mac users, we will be streaming our build sessions live on Twitch from now, so that people can still watch. So with that, what the kind of roles that we would need, and this is something that Musashi and I was able to outline, mostly Musashi letting me know the different kind of roles that you want to be mindful of. So like an in-world moderator, as well as a Twitch moderator, right? Because again, we're going to be on Twitch, so we want somebody in our VIP hyping it up, and keeping the conversation going.
I could help with that. Sorry to interrupt you, but I know a lot about Twitch since I stream. I just added 1,000 followers too, by the way. Woo-hoo! But for you all, since you are just starting out and everything, basically everybody who starts out, like, just send me your Twitch and whatnot, and I can help you. And basically, you'll already get, like, guaranteed over 3 people. Because really, to become an affiliate, all you need to do is just average viewers for, like, 3 days or something like that, and reach, like, a certain amount of followers. But you all get the followers, and I'll add but it's just about getting the consistent viewers. But if you're getting hosted by somebody who gets, like, 10 to 15 viewers, like, you'll definitely meet that. And if you get to affiliate really quickly, you'll be getting paid, like, every month. And, I mean, that's a part of how I get paid. So, like, it's definitely very possible. So, like, even if you're doing this, even if you're streaming like this, you don't know. Somebody could donate 50 subs to one of your streams. Like, you got to be prepared for something like that. So, everybody reaching, like, affiliate level on Twitch, that should be, like, if you're on Twitch, that should be your primary goal. Because it's, like, the easiest way to get paid. And then after that, we can sit here and, like, that's why I want to have, like, a Twitch tab thing, like a Twitch link thing, or a Discord to where people can, like, post their different streams and stuff. And basically, everybody tabs because, I mean, the more people you tab, the more it boosts their algorithm. And it just gets more and more people in your stream, and then, like, obviously you get paid from that, but you also get paid from the amount of subs and stuff you have. So, like, that would just be a benefit, I feel like, for everybody. Yeah. And I also feel like, too, in our Discord, we should add, I don't know if we already have it, but, like, a section for, like, books, like book titles, like, suggestion for books.
No, that's really cool too. Especially if you guys see, Miss Mimi is one of our newest members, and she is one of the other ladies I've kind of talked about our book club that we have for all women on the side, and she is from our book club. So
is it only for women, or
it is only for women, unfortunately, just to create kind of a safe space. But we do talk about, like, mind elevating books. Like one of the books I think had the most views on YouTube too was we read The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab, which kind of puts a lot of people off because they're like, oh my gosh, Klaus, and it's like, yeah, but we read the blueprint. What's up?
See, we gotta get more men in here so we can men book club, and then I can have good books. I got a lot of good books I read. Like, I read for like 3 hours a day. I'm not gonna lie.
And we can include that in Raw. Sorry, go ahead, Vlad.
I write 3 hours a day, so I can hook you up with a book.
Yeah, Vlad has some really good books too. I actually just started one of his series. I haven't had too much time to read this week because I've just been crazy. But I did have one of his series that I'm going to be starting, and I seen he also has a podcast. I shared that with you guys and some really cool stuff. So I think
I'll send you a friend request, but send me your work, bro. That sounds very interesting, like intriguing.
yeah, and I think you guys both studied Torah as well. Maybe different perspectives, but
Oh,
yeah,
probably, but still interesting.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely very interesting.
Exactly. And that's what we're all about here, right? Learning from each other. We just keep it respectful and open, and is what it is. So great. And also I actually did just add a bot in here. I'm happy you mentioned that, Shamgar, for Twitch streamers, so that I have to look at how I can actually add the Twitch streamers, but I can add it so that
I
whenever
could help you with that probably.
Okay,
But is there any way, I don't even know if I would have to pay you, but is there any way like how you be doing this with this server? Could you help me on my server? Because I'm not gonna lie, this server would be looking beautiful, and my server would be lacking, but there's like a lot of things I could add to it. I kind of need some help, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for sure, I could help you. We will have a whole session, and we could talk about my Twitch. We'll talk about your Discord. We'll talk about everybody, because again, everybody should be Twitch streaming. We've talked about kind of streaming before, and gaming, and hosting our own like gaming competitions, right? And these other kind of aspects.
I don't know why we don't do that. There's a retro game website where you can literally play like all the old 90 games and stuff for free. And like if you all have any game buy, like I'll literally put any of my money up to buy it so we can play it. Like that would be so cool if like every week we had like a Pac-Man tournament or something and somebody wins like $50 or something. Like or not even for money, like just for like bragging rights or something. I wouldn't even care. Like it would just be fun because we spend time together, and also everybody could stream and create content, and it'd be like somewhat of a friendly competition at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And so here, and that's why I made the stream team. So those are some of the things I put here for the stream team, which is hosting those competitions and those kind of stuff. So we'll definitely get together and figure out how to get that up and running. I did add that bot. I've just got to figure out how to actually integrate our streamers. I think you're the only streamer that I'm really familiar with. I know a few designers that stream, so I'll probably connect with them to get added on board, and then obviously Raw. But then again, even how we have our metaverse, one of our biggest things is, hey, we have our in-world being created, so that even once that's established, you can then tell all your Twitch streamers, hey, go into the Raw metaverse, and you all can just watch me stream there, because we have a way to show the stream on the big screen, and then everybody's running around the metaverse at the same time.
I've just been waiting to show like the other people about our community, because the gaming community, and I want us to have more like mods and more like not police but like security enforcers. I'm not gonna lie, like if I put this server like in a Fortnite server, 400 people could join us, but like I said, I don't want 300 little teams in here just spamming stuff.
Okay.
So
yeah, and that's what I was saying as well, just more ways that we can be establishing ways to protect our community, which is definitely minimizing some of our chats, locking up some of our chats, creating more focus areas, just more areas where conversation has to stay on lines with the conversation. Everybody understands the rules. You can only share links in certain chats. And like you said, more moderators, more community members that want to help us, keep our community safe as we are building. So, Havo, I did see you unmute. What's up? Okay, you've remuted. No problem. So yes, these are our roles that we've had.
hey, sorry.
Oh, perfect. Hey, what's going on? I don't know if it's just me, but you're breaking up for me pretty bad. You may have to go out and then come back in. Okay, I'm wrapping up and then we'll go outside. Okay. All right, so Havo's out, so he'll be popping back in. So while he's coming back in, I'm just wrapping up our builders. So we do have a session this Saturday where we'll be going into the Neos Metaverse. That'll be this Saturday, the 7th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. We will be dropping all of that content. We had an awesome content creation session this morning. We got our calendar ready. I'll be adding the events in the Discord and dropping those in a bit. And then we'll start, rolling out what we have going for this week. So in our metaverse, we do have a few roles that everybody can add to. And again, we are also thinking about kicking it up to us actually meeting in the metaverse every single week, because we are preparing for our physical to digital fashion show. So something here for the requirements. And if you guys see here, like raw engineer, again, this just goes for everybody can join our core team by actually just going here, following me to under our info for where to start. And then here at the very top, you'll see this Google Doc. I also even have it pinned right here. So our Google Doc, where you just fill it out. It's just a picture, some information about you. We do use that picture in your bio in our Git book. So make sure it's something that you want to have advertised. We do also show off our new members in our weekly recap and social medias. So again, that's where those bios and pictures will be reshared when we are highlighting our community members. So if you'd like to onboard, make sure you start there. And then you'll just have to complete one task for the team that you're trying to join. Now, we always have those tasks here under tokenomics. And here again, these are 5 teams that you can join and the different things you can do. And you can do these any week. And then each week we drop a specific task for each one. So something, and let me show you guys what I mean by that. So if you check our recaps, which I hope you guys do, because I think that they are personally amazing, but I also write them, so I could be a little biased. This could be better, so if anybody wants to make a 2x1 banner, go for it. But our weekly recap, so here this was just a reminder, our community call was there, a replay from our last week. This was our Twitter Spaces, which was amazing. Our last Twitter Spaces, guys, we had over 200 people that viewed it, and it's probably more at this point, honestly. Let me check, because that thing did good. So this was our first one that we did, which was actually talking about storytelling, and then we had another one about community building, and then our last one about about NFT marketplaces. So now they don't want to show me how many people, of course. But last time it was showing the numbers, it did say 200. So out of those 3, when we were helping people figure out how NFT artists can get started, we educated over 300 people amongst those 3 spaces, which is really, really great, a great accomplishment. And our POAPs are really helping. We get a lot of people that are not in our Discord, but in the larger community that continue to come every single week. And then here I shared a lot of the resources that people share throughout the chat. Like here I shared where Mochahantis and Fifth were sharing the different things for engineers earlier in the week, as well as where people shield their work. I always try to add that here, like this metaverse building competition. This was Vlad's book that I mentioned, as well as his podcast. And again, some of our new members, this was the Solana marketplace I told you guys about, the interview that I just had. That is a great watch, all about Raw, if you guys want to catch it. And again, just some really awesome stuff. We've been highlighting Shamgar and his birthday, because he is an April baby, so you can follow his Twitch here. And then here, though, is what I've been talking about with our weekly tasks. So again, you see our weekly task for engineers was process for accessing the password, researching security, password sharing. So that's why we set up LastPass, and we've set boundaries like, what do you have to do in order to then access passwords or access this part of the community? And this is what we do for each role, by just giving them one task that can really help us with this next week. So we'll be updating that throughout this week. And then here's some general ideas that you guys can share about. Again, we are still trying to really confirm what kind of metrics we even want to be gauging ourselves by, because you guys know our goal is not to onboard the entire world, right? We want to onboard the educators, the learners, and those that want to keep being the learner turned educator, educator turned learner, and keeping that cycle going. So gauging what that looks like to us, maybe it's people that come to workshops, maybe it's people that complete these gamified tests, maybe it's all kind of different things that we can actually gauge our progress that looks like to us. Packaging a lot of our projects, we have a lot going on that we want to start packaging and figuring out how we want to actually start presenting it to the larger community. And then our fashion show, you guys know we're doing that. And we're going to do a semi-annual concert, but I'm thinking this will actually be for the fall since we're going to just do our runway show this time. And then we did confirm that we will be collaborating with Metagames for our fashion show, unless anybody ended up being opposed to that, but I hadn't heard any oppositions. So, this is why I say this stuff. I put it out there. Maybe we can have a yay or nay again. Here's a list of our new SOPs that are dropped and available. Here are the ones that are coming soon. Here's how you can actually find our SOPs and create your own. This is something like, say, for example, Shamgar, if you want to start creating SOPs like how to set up a Twitch, how to stream on Twitch, like little how-tos for that. It's very awesome because it's step by step. And then we always like to gamify the education that we learned about. So because we learned about marketplaces this week, you can click here and do this awesome word search for the different NFT marketplaces. Now, we have done crossword puzzles the past few weeks, but we are switching it up. And the first 10 people to complete it get a really cool po-op, and that is by Tiny. So make sure if you complete it, you DM it to her, and then she will send you a po-op, but it's only for the first 10 people. So that's one of the ways we'll be gamifying like our education and just everything that we have going on. So again, I will update these weekly tasks that's available since we have had our community call, and then I'll post that those tasks have been updated. So let me see, did Havo come back? Havo, are you here? Yes, what's going on?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Oh, perfect. Hello, everyone. How are you? Great Sunday.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I was listening to the call, and I definitely think the same as Shockmark. Sorry, and that we need to connect everything to a site so everybody can start to get in from there. All the information and the creation that is getting into RAW. So I definitely think that for the site, but I don't know if we're already working on that or it's open already to work.
Yes, that is something we've been working on actually for a while now. Kind of one of the first things we decided, because when we first started, we were under this company called DigitalX, which you might be familiar with because I know you're big into the fashion space. Yes. So we were actually under DigitalX, but once they moved to everything having to be under CC0, it was really a unanimous decision that instead of continuing to build under their organization and having to always go with whatever decisions they made, we decided to kind of just write our own smart contracts and build our own thing. So instead of making a marketplace, we decided to actually make this like epic resource website and like peer reviews and find the problems in the space and focus on answering those instead of just trying to come out with another marketplace. So we've been working on it for a little bit with the different things that we would like to include. This week we'll be voting on the domain name, and then we'll actually start building. One of the things we have been deciding on, previously we had decided to build on WordPress because of all the different things we would like to include, like the marketplace reviews and the forum where anybody can ask a question and anybody can answer, and a hub for even the massive calendar, right? Because imagine if you collect all the events that's happening in fashion, and then we have that on our website. So now people know for all of May, all of the different fashion events. And then imagine if we have that for gaming, and then we have that for engineering or just conferences in general, and like a big massive calendar and just all the events happening in the space, just always being there.
Yeah, it's great. Yes, exactly. That's what I would think when you mentioned it, the massive calendar. I was thinking on the same that we can show up all like Twitter spaces from different areas that we are boarding,
Yeah.
and the Discord calls are all they're announcing. Like you said, we can make out the form so we can spread it out to the projects and they can feedback on all the announcements and all the events that they're having now.
Yeah.
So we can, as you say, we can create the site as a fashion hub or a gaming hub or a recreational hub or an educational hub, and as you mentioned, we can, be promoting in every aspect of it on the site with different categories.
Exactly. And then it just puts us in a better position to have our own website and be able to direct people there and then to the Discord where we can actually connect. So we are definitely building that. I did send Hafith a message because we were kind of talking before about him helping out with the front end developing as well. So hopefully we get him on board with the website team. I know he did say he is just starting, in his journey with learning, but we all are. Even our other engineer Sergio, he has a little more experience because he contributed to like the Brave browser and is a little more familiar with different systems. But again, we are all in a big place of learning, so use this as a time to try it.
Yes. Yes, of course. I actually asked my one of my teammates, Patricio. He has a marketing company, and he focus on develop sites for companies and stuff. So I asked him he can help us out to create the fashion hub. Well, the site for or maybe the land page, or I don't know how it works because I really don't know how it works all that. But he's actually finishing one big job he was requested, and to Monday he will be available, so we can talk about how different things he can help me out and build it on the site, so I can give it up to you guys. If you like it, we can run it up from there as well.
Yes, that would be awesome. And we have talked about having more calls just about the website, because the website tends to take up a lot of our community calls anyhow, because there's so much when it comes to us deciding what we like to do. Especially we are big about divvying out tasks, like you go do this, you go do that, you go do this, and then all coming back together and accomplishing goals together. So it's awesome that you got one of your friends on board to help out with that, so I'm excited to hear. Hafith, I did see you unmute as well. Hey there. Hello. How's it going?
Hi. Things are going good for the time. I hear you talk about website and stuff. Right now, I can definitely contribute to the development of the website. There is not a problem for me. It's just that my schedule during the week does be a lot busy, so
yeah,
that might be a problem for me in terms of
contributing.
So so
okay. Well, no worries. We'll
I think with our scheduling, I think what we should do is like on Sundays.
Go ahead, Sam. Go on.
Because I think what I'm trying to do as a streamer is get like a calendar and like set up my own schedule, like more efficient with time. So like basically better, so I can maximize my time. But also on Sundays we can all like somewhat try to plan out our schedule and then say what we have to do throughout the week and try to address things that like the minor things that we can try to do, or even bigger projects we have to. But I think it's just something we gotta like talk and communicate on. Busy, and I mean we're all grown, so we got like bills and shit to pay. So
right.
I understand.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. Go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, but sorry. Is there like a not schedule, like an idea of the site that we're already working on, like for not trying to work on something different, maybe, so that we can take on the lead from that and everybody can contribute without doing something separately?
So the only thing we've really outlined consistently, well, there's a few things. So we've been deciding on what platform to use, whether that's WordPress or Wix. So I guess that would be the first thing that we have to decide on, so that that's cohesive, as well as then the domain names. So for example, today we were talking about the domain options. We were looking at like raw hyphen and then whatever the website is about. So like for our main hub, the main like landing page, it would be raw hyphen resources, and that would be like the main raw resources, obviously. And then we'll have raw hyphen reviews, where our peer reviews would be. And then we can have like raw hyphen fashion, or something like that. So that again, it's kind of showing the different channels off of raw. So just, I guess, keeping our domain consistent in the platform that we're building on. Also, branding is just kind of big, but if your guy really develops websites, we can all get together, because I know Tiny knows website development a tad as well, and she is our branding queen. So I think having just a meeting with all of us so that we can really outline what we're able to do, so that everything is cohesive, will be great.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Come on,
Vlad, what's up?
One thing to bring up real quick when you're talking about selecting a website provider. I was just in a conference call in another section before, and they're having to move their website because the provider they have does not support something with the Web3 domain names, and it's causing a conflict. And it's just because of something underlying that they don't support. There's a conflict, and they can get a third-party socket to go between them and make it work, or they can go to something else that supports it natively. And there's a whole big shebang that I will be honest, I don't understand completely, but when you're looking at where to go and who to involve, you might want to just grab somebody in the company that understands this a little bit and have a 10-minute conversation and make sure that it's going to support all of the Web3 protocols and stuff, so that it natively talks to each other. Even if you're just having it forward over like I was talking with you earlier, just so you don't have it cause a problem for you later.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially being able to communicate with them. They have those options, where you can kind of tell people what you're looking for, and then they can let you know if that will work for them or not. I think that's why one of our other engineers, Sergio, was also really pressing us just using WordPress, because he was saying it would be a little more user-friendly as we continue to build out and integrate a lot of the add-ons that we're trying to go for. But even, connecting with them and seeing what that would look like, I think makes a lot of sense as we're moving into actually rolling out our website, to make sure what we're building on makes sense for that. And also consulting with like Havo's friend, who knows website building a little bit, and their insights. And Hafith, I see you've unmuted. So would you like to add something?
Yeah, I was just about to say, what's his name?
Havo?
Vlad made a good point. Vlad. He made a good point about having the proper web hosting to build your website. I recommend WordPress for especially for what we're doing, because it gives you more customization tools. Things like Wix give you less customization tools and more templates to work with. So it's basically what is up to you, what you might find easier. But yeah, I just wanted to say that WordPress gives you more customization tools, and Wix gives you less of that and more templates to work with. And things like Webflow, there's a website builder called Webflow. You may want to check it out. It gives you the opportunity to have maintain capabilities that you could incorporate with your website as well. So things like that you might want to look into.
Awesome. Thank you for that feedback. Because I know we wanted to kind of touch on that Wix and Sergio had to go. So I do appreciate you for adding that. And on that note, guys, I think we've covered just about everything for today from our social media, things we have planned this month. I am going to kind of outline a curriculum again when it comes to our Twitter spaces so that it can keep being aligned on our weekly Wednesday meetups. Again, we'll be putting out our calendar for this week. We do have our Fashion Friday starting this Friday. We have a build session this Saturday and Neos, and we're just going to keep building and doing what we do consistently, and we're going to let our work do the talking for us. So I appreciate you all for taking the time out of your Sunday to meet and share your thoughts and listen to what we're doing. Did anybody have anything else that they'd like to share or add before we go? Questions, thoughts, concerns? Shamgar?
Yeah. Back to like the, I guess, stuff for Discord. Also, like the show your work thing, I don't know if it would be more effective, but wouldn't it be more effective like if instead of like just show your work, there's like an actual category for each like thing. So for like Instagram, IG, for like different content creators and like in general, so we're not just all sharing like I guess broad content to the same thing. You know what I mean? You can get all the niches in one category kind of, and it'd be easier for people to share links and stuff. And like you said, it stops the use of people spamming links and everything.
Yeah, that would make sense. I was even thinking about how to kind of be able to look at links and be able to tell, if this is a bad link or a good link. So I think if we were to organize it in that way, you can kind of see the inconsistencies if links were not all the way right. Maybe you can't catch it all the time, but it would at least maybe
it'd be a lot easier.
Right.
And I would also suggest too, there's an app called Hover. That's like very good for like streamers and stuff like me, but it's very good for like content creators and stuff. I suggest everybody should get it, but I think DAO should create one because it'd be a very good way to pull genuine people, because on this like platform there's genuine streamers and actual like content creators and grinders. So there's definitely a lot of people who would like that fit along that standard and vision that we have, and it'd be a good way to connect to them. It's like a way better version of TikTok with that actual algorithm. So
nice, and that's
it's definitely a lot better.
Yeah, I was thinking about a lot of like, not influencers, but like you said, streamers, the real community behind it that we can be connecting with once we hit that marketing phase to start, showing what we're really doing. So I would definitely look into Hover, connecting with you and other artists, and think that would be awesome. Thank you. And also, on that note, on updating the Discord, something else I was thinking was, I know we have our titles that are pretty straightforward, I think, but I think I want to make them a little more like instructional. Like, say for example, how we just said show your work. So maybe instead of like show your work, it's like drop a link. I don't know, putting it more like as an instruction at the title, and then the categories under, so that people know what they are supposed to be doing under each section, kind of. Don't know how.
I would think instead of like show your work, like I guess create like a whole nother list, like how you have the different tabs, and have it for like social media links, and then you could have it for every single one. I think that'd be more efficient, and like you said, it stops people from spamming, and it's a lot easier. And I can tell you, somebody who like people who use bad links and stuff, like, I mean, basically, bro, any link you see from like GitHub and like weird links, like shit that doesn't end in .com, stuff that obviously just doesn't look real or like verified, literally just don't click it. Like, especially on Discord, like literally do not click it. Like, it's just no point.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And so for us to be opening ourselves up and saying, hey, you can share a link for something, we want to add standards so that's easier for us to be able to see and report and protect our community. So definitely.
Well, I also think too, something that should be a part of that, like with the sharing links, I think you should have to, I guess, support people's content, because I mean, I guess that is asking for a lot. But since you kind of should have, especially if you are sharing their links, I would support everybody's social media. Like, I'll follow every platform. Like, if you DM me everything, like, I'll literally follow. I'll support everybody. That's just how I am. So it's a lot easier for somebody like me to do that, like with a system like that and with people like that. Like, I feel like if anything, this just filters out like real people who are genuinely trying to connect and people who are just trying to spam and like promote things.
Yeah, that's a really great point. And that's funny that you brought it up, because that was something I wanted to mention to the community as well, because that's something that I naturally do, which is why, you see me pop up in your live stream. And I've popped up ever since I've downloaded Twitch. I've popped up in a few of, our people that I've connected with streams, and it's like, even if I'm multitasking, I want to be viewing and watching, or even if I can't be paying attention fully, it's like at least I'm still a viewer in your thing.
Yeah, like you don't know how much that helps. Like if everybody felt like that, like tabbing somebody's stream, that's what that's called. When you just tab somebody's stream, like you basically have a role in my disc, like in my Twitch where it's called lurking. If you did like exclamation mark, they'll show you how much time like you lurk in people's stream and stuff, and like that's huge in like streamer. Like people love to see that in people's streams. So like it's like huge things that genuinely do help. And I know people be busy, but it's like at the end of the day, you really could just throw on somebody's stream in the background, and like somebody really does get paid from it. It's like mining essentially. Like it really does help.
Right. And so that's what we want to be cultivating, especially as core team members. If you see somebody drop their Twitter, go like the tweet, retweet it, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitch. I know OpenSea is a little more difficult because all you can really do is look at it, but check it out. Maybe offer some thoughts on it. Engage a little bit with what people are shilling in a sense. So I think that's a really good point. And
I would say too, also for the algorithm thing, we do need to talk about that as a team. Like, because I've been putting on a lot of effort in like social media, learning about stuff, and different social media they use different algorithms. And don't get me wrong, it's all general. I feel like BS because like the way they do it is basically censorship. But there are a lot of things that if we learn, you can take advantage of that will make our post viral. Because I feel like every post that everybody has in this community like basically can go viral. It's just more so like raw the hidden gems. So it's like the way you market yourself. Like I know it's like with my TikToks. Like if I post a certain TikTok like early in the morning at the scheduled time you're supposed to, it'll go viral like every time. But if I post it at random time, it only get 300 views. So it's like all about like the timing and what you know about the algorithm and how you actually play out these hashtags too. It's like all kind of important for real.
Right. And you know what? That's why we had actually even added our project manager, because that is her forte, for knowing the algorithm, knowing the analytics, and being able to look at what we're doing and be able to offer better insight. Like say for example, when her and I met, she pulled up my YouTube and she was able to see like my grade that I got on my YouTube basically. And if you search RAW DAO on YouTube, there's another one that pops up in how they're getting better search results than us, and we're doing a little better, but they come up first because of a few things. Like because I screen record a lot, my video quality isn't as high. Or like right now, because this recording is about to be like 2 hours, like it's not gonna obviously do well on the algorithm because really it's like 9 to 14 minutes. So it's obviously can't do nothing about it. It's our community call, and we want our community to be able to listen to it after. But like you said, knowing those specs,
that's why though we need to get editors and stuff though in here too, and that's another part of this community. I was gonna say, you get editors in here, you can edit the highlights of these calls and then create those good moments and then those clips would go viral, and that's how you get those tractions along the algorithm. Man, so then other people want to join. So then we'll be in these calls like how we are now, and it'll be the main same people talking, but instead of just us, it'll be 300 people. Like, you know what I mean? And then that's when like I feel like stuff can happen, because among those 300 people, there's somebody in there that has something. You know what I mean? Like, not trying to be mean, but there's somebody in there that knows something.
Right, and they're going to want to go take that extra step, get involved, and man, I just lost. The train is gone from that thought I just had, but I was.
I'm sorry.
That. Oh no! I was saying that's exactly what we are. We've talked about clipping up all of our recordings so many times, even from our last community call. I did listen to the replay and take some clips. I just never shared them. But like you said, all the content, Twitter Spaces, Moms and Crypto, Fashion Fridays, like any kind of content we're making, we want to be clipping and repurposing as our social media content. So definitely need some editors and creators and more on the team. That's why I made that roles sheet there. So any more roles that you guys can think of, drop those in the ideas chat. Just, hey, this is some roles that I think would be great in the community. Boom, drop a list. These are some, channels in the Discord. Whatever kind of ideas you guys ever have, drop it in the ideas chat. I can't say that we will always implement them, but we will always try our best to consider them and figure out how we can use that to better ourselves. And we will always make these decisions as a DAO. I'm the founder, so I'm usually the one talking, but hopefully that starts to shift as well. I don't always want to be the face and the one having to do this. That's why I'm creating roles and positions so that I can turn it over to our community and say, here's how everyone can have a role and everyone can play their part, and we can all seriously be building. So again, I appreciate everyone's input for today. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your Sunday. Were there any last things that anybody wanted to add before we go? Havo?
Yes, I just wanna. I wanted to ask you something, but I will DM you for that.
Okay.
Well, for closing, I just wanna say that you can. There's a super wonderful try-on contest for extended identity on Instagram for a digital crown. So if you wanna take a chance for it, you can. If you win, you will get a try well, if you win the contest, you will actually get a chance to try on the Bloomberg dress from them, and it's an amazing piece of art if you want to take a look for it.
That sounds really cool. Can you share that? Let me see. Where would be a good place to share that?
I will share it on fashion,
Okay.
on AR fashion,
Okay.
and a try-on.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's okay for that?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, share it there, and then I would definitely look into it. I love trying on stuff on Instagram and showing people like, see, I told you.
Yes, I was trying on with my wife in the morning. We were on the to the mountains, and we were taking some pictures and some videos of it.
Ooh,
This looks amazing.
You guys, it sounds like it's about to be good. Awesome. Okay, thanks for sharing.
Great Sunday, everyone.
Yes, great Sunday, everyone. Peace and blessings. Talk to you later. Bye.